How's it going? Chip here with Hybrid and Electric Car Sales. We're going live right now. We're also recording and we will be posting this video later, so I'll do the introduction while everybody's coming in. But we're going to be doing a 2014 Toyota Prius V engine replacement, or at least we're going to be prepping for it tonight. So I'm going to start by taking off the undercovers, draining the coolant, kind of talking about it. This job is done completely from the top side. As far as removing the engine, you don't have to even take the wheels off if you're good. I take this wheel off the passenger side just to give me a little bit more access. But it's a very simple job. The hood comes off, we take the hood off, and then we just yank the engine straight out. This is a 2014 Prius V with 160,000 miles on. I bought this car knowing it had a bad engine. This car has a 10-page Carfax report with every service being done at the Toyota dealership. So it's really a car worth saving. The paint's in incredible shape. We got to put new tires on it, and we're putting a new engine in it. Battery tested out super strong and like 75% capacity left in it. So it's definitely a good candidate for this engine swap. So super excited about being able to do that, take you on it. Usually this job takes 5 to 6 hours start to finish, but I'm going to be breaking it up in a couple parts just because of how I have to schedule it all. But this is the prep on it, and I'll take you guys through it. So just kind of stick with me here. I'm going to get the coolant drained out, get these undercovers off, and just hang out with me for an hour or so. I'm going to just be streaming what I'm doing. If you got any questions, just feel to type them in there. If I can see them pop up, I'll respond to it. But we'll buy cars like this quite often if I know what's wrong with them. I don't like buying cars that, and paying good money for it and then finding out it needs a battery or it needs an engine or something. But this one was misfiring, had a check engine light for misfire cylinders 1 and 2, and that's pretty common on these, but they fail at on all the cylinders. It just depends how far you take it. And we see a lot of failures on the Prius Vs. I think that more has to do with the weight of the car, the extra strain that the engine goes through. Just a theory, no real proof in any of that, anything I'm saying. Most people, you find me from my transmission work, so this is a little bit different. Ooh, that was wet. There we go. All right. All in one piece. That's pretty rare. Stuck in the plastic. All right. All right, and then we also have to take down this tray too. Well, actually, you don't. This one does not need to come down. All right, what do we got under here? A little bit of rust, a little surface rust on some of this stuff. It's too bad. Engine looks in pretty good shape. Standard little oil seepage around here. We will drain the oil. Coolant is drained from here. There's a little peacock here. We always put a hose on it. I'm going to start with draining the oil first, actually. It just saves me from having to deal with it later. And then when we drop the engine, it will spill everywhere. Go. Let's let that go out. Boop loops. Okay, don't know what that means. Yeah, but if you have one of these Gen 3 Priuses, man, we see so many head gaskets and batteries and ABS systems. They're really the three things that we see the most of You know, the hybrid battery can be replaced pretty easily. We just did, on one of my other videos, we did an engine replacement and a hybrid battery replacement on the car, and I suspect it's going to need the ABS unit soon. They're like the three amigos. You got the head gasket, the ABS unit, and the battery. But once you replace those three things, it's the cars are pretty indestructible. They're pretty good. Oil's not looking too good. So another thing I know I've got some people watching is, you know, this Tik Tok ban. We were really making a push, you know, putting some content out on TikTok and trying to get our that following up, and now it's essentially going away. So we're kind of figuring out where we want to go, and I love the way Facebook does their stuff, and Instagram, they're really hard to really connect with people. So we've been sticking with YouTube, doing the YouTube lives, doing a lot of posting on YouTube, and we think YouTube is really going to be where we're going to be focusing our efforts, at least for, it's a 2014 Prius V, 160,000 miles on it. We're doing an engine replacement on it. But I think, you know, I know a lot of people are moving the red note. I don't speak Chinese, but you know, we'll see. But YouTube's been good to us. We put a lot of content out here as far as our transmission work goes. We do sales, and we also get into these engines. I got a transmission job coming in at the end of this week that we'll probably get started on Monday, so we'll be taking you through that. That car's coming from Atlanta. They found us online here on YouTube and Google. So we continue to do those jobs. Again, you always ask me how much. It's $4,000 to rebuild that hybrid transmission. To replace it, it's $5,100. Keep the car on the road. This Ford Fusion hybrids are good cars. Basically the same design as this car. Most people don't know, but Ford licensed the Toyota hybrid system design from Toyota to make the Ford Fusion hybrid. All right, we're about to drain the coolant here. Which comes out. There we go. Watch that. Not a lot of coolant in these little Priuses, but this one's been drinking a lot of it. When the car came in, the coolant reservoir was pretty low, and I took it through a car wash because it was covered in salt when it first came here before I pulled into the shop. So I took it down the street to the car wash, and time it idled through the car wash. Wow, that is not a lot of coolant in there. It was already firing back up and everything. Lower this down. Gotta take the radiator cap off. Grab the cap. Take this wheel off. rest of this now. There we go. So we'll take the passenger wheel off, take these covers off. These usually come off pretty easily. And then that will give us access to a wiring harness down here that we got to disconnect. Trying to pop out these pins here. It's harder to get out. Looking for my 14. Seeing it. Hey. Right now I'm removing the lower bolt on the water pump. It's just easier to get it down on this side. There's a couple bolts I take off while I'm waiting for it to drain just to speed things up when I'm on the top side. Get these hard to get ones. Down here. And right now I'm disconnecting the O2 sensor harness here on the back side of the engine, the VVT harness, oil pressure sensor. Again, just trying to use my time wisely while I'm waiting on that coolant to drain. Trying to get as much done as I can back here. All right, sorry about that. That was a phone call. Someone watching us right now called, had a question about the Fusion transmission. They saw it was in the shop right now, so thank you. They were asking about the cost to rebuild the HF35 transmission. Not this car. This is separate. This job, if you're wondering. So we will replace this engine. This is a 1.8 liter Toyota engine, hybrid, and replacing this engine is $3,100 plus tax. We get the engines from Japan. You can actually see it back there, right there. That's the engine. We get them from Japan. They got 40 to 60,000 miles on them. I don't really know what that is. It's like 80,000 kilometers or whatever. On the high side. And we have a distributor that we get them from in California who gets them from Japan. But they buy them by the container full. And we buy them a couple at a time. And again, this was a car that I bought for this specific reason. We actually have another client coming in next week who is getting their engine replaced. They found this online. And then we have a transmission next week also, so we'll get all this done. We're gonna stay busy here. The next thing I got to do is take out the exhaust holes. So it's really simple on this car. It's a 14, just 114 millimeter. Or actually, I'm sorry, a pair of them, but it's not much more than that. And they usually come off with pretty much ease. Eat my words. But let me take off this shield. We will replace those fried. So long extension, 14 impact, all the way up onto the first one. Should get a good bite. This one comes out. There's a broken heat shield down here. See that? Bolt it out, and let's go get the other one. Nice and easy, no fuss. There they are. This we will throw away. That won't be welded back on there. Again, just some heat shield off the catalytic converter. Missed. Bolts don't look crazy bad. I mean, that's about what you expect for a car this age. A little bit of rust. We'll cycle all that in penetrating oil just to kind of break it all down. So that's about it. On this underside, now everything else starts at the top side. We'll take the hood off. I'm gonna let this drip a little bit. I gotta step out real quick. So I'll just, you guys will be watching the water drip at this point. Just give me a minute. All right, we are back. Better go get some gloves, so I'll be right back. Okay, car's coming down. So I'll set the back wheels on the ground and I'll squat the car down a little bit, right about there, just to give me better access. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the hood off. Yes, you can get the engine out without taking the hood off. It just makes it harder. I have found that these 4 bolts to remove the hood makes it exponentially easier for me. You don't have to do it this way. I'm not telling you to do it anyway. Let me get the... removing washer sprayer. Alright. I always take the bottom bolts out first. These are self-centering bolts. So as long as your car's not hit, sometimes you can tell if the car's been hit just by how the hood's lined up. So I use this block of wood to keep the hood open so it doesn't fall. Kind of hangs out there. And then I go and I put this in another room inside. Just to get it away. Let me get the charger hooked up to my phone. My phone's about to die. Alright. So I'll move you in a little bit closer here for the next part. So next part, we're going to take off the whole cowl up here. It's all 14, so it should be 14. Someone's been in here before. I'm seeing all sorts of weird bolts already. Really, to do anything on these Priuses, you got to take this cowl off. Everything's hidden behind it. I removed the brake reservoir cap, and the reason for that is as soon as you pull that cowl off, it's going to fling that reservoir cap into Never Never Land, and good luck finding it. Two little push pin tabs. There wasn't one on the other side, not sure why. I'd like to take a side off. There we go. All right, disconnect the wiper assembly. Tabs here to get the wiring off. Gotta be careful about the windshield. I've definitely broken windshields before doing this job. No doubt, it's gonna happen. You do enough of these. You can be very careful. I've broken more of them pulling out this part than actually pulling the engine out. So. That's such a tight fit, but everything I do, try to give myself more room, like taking the hood off. You cannot do this job without taking the cowl off. Now you can leave the hood on the whole time. Okay. All 10 millimeters for Toyota stuff throughout. I need a new hog ring on my hole here. It keeps throwing my sockets. I just haven't had time to get one. I'll probably end up buying a whole new socket. They never fix anything anymore. That's just a support bracket. Down. All right, now the cowl comes out. There we go. So now we have much better access to the engine. Be able to pull it out, take the cover off. And now we start disassembling. I'll start with the air box. Take this off too. Gotta get this out of the way. That's the hood prop. Air filter, not too bad. Yes. So I'm just getting the air box off. There's a bunch of 10 millimeters. Okay, nothing too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. We're just taking off the coolant lines, these upper ones, get these out of the way. This is really frozen on there. We can leave that on there for now. I don't want to break that. It's crazy. Yeah, just had to give it a little love. And some penetrating on. Alright. So back at it, had a little hang up there. So we'll start disconnecting the wiring harness, and then we take the wiring harness and kind of fold it over this way. There are a couple more coolant lines, one more to remove here, and then I can take out the coolant tank. Got a little bit of rust on some of these lines. Probably have to replace some of these coolant hoses, or not coolant hoses, but the clamps on them. But under the car is pretty good. I'm kind of surprised by that. It's had a bad winter. These are the brackets for the AC lines. This will allow us to disconnect the motor mount eventually. Okay. just inspecting everything, just seeing kind of what's next. If anything's gonna give me any issues. It looks pretty good. So, all right, well, I appreciate everybody tuning in for tonight. We're gonna stop right here. It's 6 o'clock here in Middle Tennessee. About done. I'm gonna go home see my family, but we'll finish up on this tomorrow. We'll have this engine out tomorrow. I want to make sure I take my time and get it done. But I appreciate everybody tuning in and check us out online and tune back in next time. So thank you so much.